I'm here today with Jane Meyer. Jane is one of the authors of the STAR Toolkit and Training Plan. Jane, I know an important aspect of the STAR materials is that they are evidence-based. What exactly does that mean to say that reading instruction is evidence-based?
It means that you're teaching reading using techniques that have been found to be effective. There is evidence that these techniques work. But Mark, evidence can come from a variety of sources. What many consider to be the gold standard, the most rigorous kind of evidence, comes from when research where you have closely matched groups of students that are randomly assigned to different kinds of instruction and the outcomes are compared.
Rigorous evidence sounds like it could be pretty challenging to get.
It is indeed. There aren't many studies like that in education, and there are even fewer in the field of adult basic reading education. But we do have some reports on how reading develops in adults and the practices that are effective in developing reading skills. I have a list of some of those reports to share with you today, and you can find all the reports that I'm going to talk about in the resources section. First, there are two survey reports. One, Adult Education and Literacy Instruction, a review of the research, is just that. It gives an overview of the research to date. And the second report, Improving Adult Literacy, sets out the National Academy of Education's findings on how literacy develops and the most effective practices for developing literacy. This second report also has two short, easy-to-read summary versions titled Developing Reading and Writing and Supporting Learning and Motivation.
So aside from the most rigorous kinds of evidence, and you're saying right now that's hard to find,
right?
What else do we have to go on?
Well, we have evidence that's based on agreement amongst experts. And these experts sometimes are researchers and sometimes are practitioners. It's not that important who the experts are. What matters is they agree based on data. For example, in the report titled Applying Research in Reading Instruction for Adults, experts talk about what the research on adult literacy implies for instruction.
Okay, good. That looks really helpful. Are there any other kinds of evidence we should know about?
Yes. As evidence-based reading instruction becomes more widely known, action research studies are starting to emerge. In action research, those who implement the program are also the ones who are conducting the research. And there are two action research studies that I think that you will find particularly interesting. The first one is an article called A Report on Minnesota's Student Achievement in Reading Project. And it summarizes a 2-year evaluation of Minnesota's STAR project and documents improvements in teachers' knowledge of reading and also in their students' confidence, persistence, and reading skill. And the second article is called What is Evidence-Based Reading Instruction and How Do You Know When You See It? This article describes the implementation of evidence-based reading instruction in Los Angeles, and it includes results on teachers' experiences and learners' gains, as well as recommendations for administrators.